Well, Jonathan, isn't it true to say that several aid workers, hundreds, have lost their lives? And this is not from Hamas. This is not from the Hamas-run health ministry. This is from those very aid agencies that have reported dozens upon dozens of aid workers that have lost their lives whilst trying to help Palestinians in Gaza over the last couple of weeks. It's a little bit trite to say that, you know, they need to move from A to B, isn't it? Don't they need to go where the people need them the most? Or are you saying that their job is to lead Palestinians and set up essentially a new refugee camp?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is essentially what they should be doing. If they really care about protecting civilians from the horrors of war, then we are offering that as a temporary solution or an amelioration of the situation. And if they really care about Palestinian civilians, then yes, that is what they should be doing. Of course, it is sad and unfortunate that aid workers are amongst those that have been affected. They are not the target, but I think that UNRWA retains capabilities to operate and run their facilities, and it would be good if they helped to get civilians out of the battlefield instead of erecting internally displaced centers in the heart of the civilian population in the crowded cities in the south, in Khan Yunis and in Rafah. It's not very helpful. It's helpful if they were to be out of the locations where Hamas isn't.
Aren't you asking aid workers essentially to be more involved in the conflict than that either side is willing them to be on? Because we've spoken previously about Hamas's tactics. They've stopped Palestinians, hundreds of families from moving south into these safe zones. So it really puts these aid workers in a tough position. Or are you particularly critical?
Yeah, I think that what they are doing so far is choosing the side of Hamas, because what they are doing is actively adding to the complexity on the ground. It is adding additional internally displaced Palestinians from the north in areas where Hamas is active, where we are going to fight because we're going to target Hamas and we need to get rid of Hamas. And the fact that UNRWA so far has decided not to evacuate, not to help Palestinians evacuate to the humanitarian designated zone, I think it's extremely unfortunate. And I don't think that it is helpful if we're talking about saving Palestinians. I think that they should make an effort and make a decision not to help Hamas have additional civilian casualties, but to help Palestinians save themselves.
So are you accusing the UN Refugee Agency of actually actively helping Hamas, or you're saying that's essentially the effect of what is happening on the ground?
What we're seeing now is that there are hundreds of thousands of Palestinians that are in southern Gaza. We have provided an option, which I think should be exploited and should be pursued, to get civilians out of the battlefield. So far, we're not seeing support and action by the same organizations that allegedly are supposed to help and protect Palestinians. I think that is unfortunate, and I hope that it will change.
Okay, one final question. Has the mission changed since the ceasefire ended?
No, it has not. Our mission is to dismantle and destroy Hamas, to make sure that there are no military capabilities from Gaza that threaten Israeli civilians, and to take apart their political, administrative ability, and to get our hostages back. That is the focus. We have 137 hostages still remaining in Hamas captivity, most of them alive, 17 women and children, and some of them are bodies of dead Israelis. All of them will be returned, and Hamas will be dismantled, and Israelis will come back to their homes after this war is over.
So if Sinwar was killed or captured tomorrow and you got the hostages back, would that be the end of the war?
Sinwar killed or captured, the higher echelon of the organization killed or captured, a certain percentage of the rank and file out of commission, and their weapons degraded and hostages returned. That would be a very, very good step in the right direction. It would definitely save a lot of Palestinian lives and our troops' lives as well.
Jonathan Conricus, Lieutenant Colonel, we really appreciate your time as always.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.